You know that feeling when your grown child talks over you at family dinner? Or when they make decisions about your life without asking? Maybe it's the way they roll their eyes when you share advice, or how they suddenly start speaking to you like you're the child instead of the parent. If this sounds familiar, I want you to know something important. This isn't about you losing your worth, it's about patterns that can be changed. After working with hundreds of seniors navigating this exact challenge, I've discovered 6 powerful ways to shift these dynamics, not through confrontation or guilt, but through subtle, strategic changes in how you present yourself and interact with your family. Today, we'll explore the first 2 transformative approaches that have helped countless grandparents and parents regain their rightful respect. Let's begin with the first strategy, the power of pausing. This might sound too simple, but it's incredibly effective. When your child says something dismissive or makes a decision for you without consulting you, resist the urge to react immediately. Instead, take a slow breath count to 3 in your mind before responding. Here's why this works wonders. That brief pause does several important things. First, it prevents emotional reactions that might make your child defensive. Second, it demonstrates that your words are valuable and worth waiting for. And third, this is the magical part, it often makes the other person uncomfortable enough to reflect on what they just said. Take Martha, a 72-year-old viewer who shared her story with me. Her daughter would frequently say things like, "Mom, you shouldn't be driving anymore," in front of the whole family. After learning about the pause technique, Martha tried it. When her daughter made the comment again, Martha simply stayed silent for a few seconds, made gentle eye contact, and then said calmly, "I appreciate your concern. Let's discuss this privately later." The result? Her daughter actually apologized afterwards, something that had never happened before. Now, the second strategy builds on this foundation, becoming a storyteller instead of an advisor. For decades, you've been the family problem solver, but here's the hard truth. Unsolicited advice, no matter how wise, often triggers resistance in adult children. There's a better way to share your wisdom through stories about your own experiences rather than direct instructions. Instead of saying, "You should handle your money this way," try, "That reminds me of when I faced a similar situation in 1985. This approach does something remarkable. It positions you as a source of wisdom rather than a critic. Your children get to draw their own conclusions from your experiences, which they're much more likely to respect and remember. I recently heard from Robert, a 68-year-old retired teacher who used this technique with his son who was having work troubles. Rather than giving direct advice, Robert shared a story about how he'd handled a difficult principal early in his career. A week later, his son called to say, "Dad, I've been thinking about that story you told me. I tried something similar and it worked." That's the power of storytelling. It allows your wisdom to be received rather than resisted. Now, these first 2 strategies, mastering the pause and becoming a storyteller, can create noticeable shifts in your family dynamics. But there are 4 more powerful approaches we need to explore, including one that will completely transform how your children include you in family decisions. That moment when your voice trails off in conversation because no one seems to be listening cuts deeper than most people realize. But here's what I've learned from helping hundreds of seniors rebuild respect. The solution isn't about speaking louder, but about showing up differently. Let's explore 2 more transformative strategies that go beyond words to shift how your family sees you. The third approach is all about physical presence, how you carry yourself in everyday moments. Have you noticed how some people command attention just by walking into a room? This isn't about being intimidating. It's about subtle shifts in body language that communicate self-respect. Try this. Next time you enter a family gathering, pause briefly in the doorway, stand tall, and make warm but intentional eye contact before joining. This simple practice signals that you're present as an individual, not just as mom or dad. What makes this so powerful? Neuroscience shows we assess status within seconds based on posture and eye contact. My client Evelyn, 76, practiced this for 2 weeks, adjusting how she entered rooms. Sitting upright rather than slouching in her usual chair, and something remarkable happened. Her grandchildren started asking for her opinions more often. "Grandma," one said, "you seem different lately, more important." That shift came not from what she said, but from how she occupied space. Now, the fourth strategy might feel uncomfortable at first, but it's absolutely vital. The art of graceful exits. When conversations turn dismissive or when you're being talked over, you have the right to remove yourself, not with drama, but with quiet dignity. If your son starts answering for you at the doctor's office, try saying, "I'll let you two continue, I need some fresh air." Then rise and leave calmly. This does something profound. It teaches people how to treat you by showing them what you won't tolerate. James, an 80-year-old Navy veteran, used this when his daughter kept interrupting his war stories. After excusing himself twice during Thanksgiving dinner, she followed him outside saying, "Dad, I'm sorry, I didn't realize." That moment became their turning point. What we're really doing here is rebuilding respect through action rather than words. When you carry yourself like someone worthy of attention and set clear boundaries through behavior, something shifts in your family's perception. They begin mirroring back the respect you show yourself. Now, these changes take courage, but I've seen them create profound transformations. One viewer, Margaret, wrote that after practicing these strategies, her son actually pulled out her chair at a restaurant, something he hadn't done since he was a teenager. That's the power of nonverbal communication. It bypasses resistance and rewrites family patterns at a deeper level. In our next segment, we'll explore the final 2 strategies, including how to handle the delicate situation when adult children question your life choices. But for now, I'd love to hear, have you noticed how body language affects your family interactions? Share your experiences below. Your story might help another viewer find their path forward. There comes a moment when you realize respect isn't something you can demand, it's something you inspire. You've already taken the courageous first steps, mastering the power of pause, becoming a storyteller, transforming your physical presence, and learning graceful exits. Now let's explore the 2 final strategies that will help cement these changes into lasting transformation. The 5th strategy might surprise you: develop selective hearing. Now, I don't mean ignoring your children, but rather consciously choosing which comments deserve your attention and energy. When your daughter says, "Mom, that outfit is too young for you," or your son remarks, "You're too old to understand technology," you have a choice. You can react, or you can let it pass like a leaf floating down a stream. Here's how this works in practice. When a disrespectful comment comes your way, imagine it's background noise at a busy restaurant present, but not worthy of your focus. Respond only to the comments that merit your wisdom. My client Richard, 78, practiced this when his son kept making jokes about his senior moments. Instead of engaging, Richard would simply smile and change the subject to something substantive. Within weeks, the teasing stopped because it wasn't getting the reaction it once did. Now, the 6th and most profound strategy is about redefining your role in the family. For decades, you were the caregiver, the problem solver, the one who put everyone else first. But here's the life-changing truth. Continuing in that role trains your family to see you as someone to manage rather than respect. It's time to transition from being the family caretaker to becoming the family elder. This means allowing your children to solve their own problems, even when you see the solution, speaking less but with more intention, becoming the calm center during family storms. Take the example of Helen, an 82-year-old great-grandmother. When her grandchildren would argue at family gatherings, she used to jump in to mediate. After learning this strategy, she began simply observing with a quiet smile. Eventually, the grandchildren started coming to her separately, asking, "Grandma, what do you think we should do?" That's the power of the elder role. It invites respect rather than demands it. What makes these final strategies so powerful is that they address the root of disrespect rather than just the symptoms. When you stop reacting to every slight, when you allow others to come to you rather than chasing their approval, something magical happens. They begin seeking your presence rather than tolerating it. As we wrap up this series, remember this: respect flows naturally to those who first respect themselves. The changes might feel small at first. A pause here, a different posture there, but together they create a seismic shift in how your family sees and treats you. Now I'd love to hear from you. Which of these strategies feels most meaningful to you? Have you noticed any shifts in your family dynamics since we began this journey together? Share your stories in the comments. Your experience could be the encouragement someone else needs today. Here's to your next chapter on where your wisdom is sought, your presence is valued, and your golden years are filled with the deep respect you've earned and deserve. If this series has helped you, consider sharing it with a friend who might be facing similar challenges. And don't forget to subscribe for more insights on thriving in your later years. Until next time, remember, you're not just growing older, you're growing more valuable with each passing year.